and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy over there is D-Mac, Darren McCarty. He is back in the fold. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter. We have all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jump in there. Get your thoughts out there. Big weekend of action. Stoked not scared. In effect.
Stoked not scared.
D-Mac, how was the weekend?
Cold. A little too chilly. Griffin McCarty was in town, obviously. Shout out to everybody who checked out Chomp and Puck on Saturday. Great doppelganger. We sat down with the heir to the McCarty throne, Griffin McCarty, who was in town. Like a lot of people for the Luke Combs concert down at Ford Field, which I heard was ecstatic. So we didn't.
Everybody I knew seemed like they were out there.
You know what? Low key, it was one of those concerts, right? And I think that as we see, it's starting with there's tons of more big concerts, whether it's down at Comerica, Ford Field, obviously illuminating a year from now with the draft in Detroit. But this is slowly starting to simmer downtown. But Detroit's one of those things is where nobody's saying, hey, I'm going to the concert, but everybody was like, oh, yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll go there. I'll go there. So something to see. Swung the cups a few times. Went out to Top Golf yesterday, so didn't get on the golf course, but swung some clubs, so hopefully a little bit better. But, the overall theme was I was a little chilly this weekend, but I managed to survive.
Yeah, you love golf, man.
I do.
Man, do you love golf. You love it more than I do. I will say that, but obviously there's a ton to get into. I got D-Mac razzing me last night because the Oilers are down 3-0 out of the chute, but Connor McJesus got it set.
More Draisaitl and stuff like this. I had to poke the bear. I had to listen.
What's the problem?
Even though
everything was fine.
Even though I have a grasp on karma, doesn't mean that I'm bigger than karma. And I threw out a couple eyeballs and a couple coffee cups and a 3-0 lead. And you know what? Your guys are hanging on. They've been tested, Edmonton Oilers. Now, can they go back home and do what they're supposed to do and win Game 5? And like you said, can they take it easy on us, please? Maybe a little 5-1 victory. But, I see it in the chat thread, woodwardsports.com, everybody who's joining in. The fact that, yes, the NHL playoffs have been exciting. It has been exciting. And little off the top, the team, if you're going to ask me, that more or less not surprises me, but I think is starting to click is this Rangers team. Being led by their, obviously with their power play, but, Chris Kreider, front of the net, Patrick Kane's experience, all those guys. So the Rangers are starting to cook. So, but great playoffs so far.
Alex Merrill says, God, I love playoff hockey. But Grit says, I'm bricked, not scared. I'm beyond stoked. It is draft week, everybody. We are here.
You're allowed to be bricked up. Brick it up all week long. And as we will get into it, and I wasn't here Friday, which a lot of obviously big news dropped. Obviously, Jameson Williams losing their 6th game, and we'll get into a little bit other things. But no, absolutely, it's Monday. Christmas is Thursday.
Yes.
Be brick. This has nothing to do with what we're cooking at coming up on Thursday. And I'll let you know a little bit. We talked about it a little bit before. But this is okay. It's part of the learning, part of the growing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to get into it. We're getting heavy draft. We're going to do the stuff this week because it's real now. And we're here. And we're going to do it. We'll take a look. We'll go initial sample around the room. Oh, that was my first one of draft. Totally spontaneous, too, by the way. But it just felt right. We did it. We're here. It's a week. And by the way, if you guys want to roll out, Thursday night, 5th Avenue, Royal Oak. Tickets available at the door. Just $10 to get on in there. We will have it popping.
Doors open at 5. Upstairs where the festivities. You'll be let in at 6.
Yep.
For all you, there will be the Spencer Raxter special edition bonus area.
Don't care.
Shots and snuggles, probably,
Yes.
depending on who goes 6 overall and what Brad Holmes does. But it's going to be a great, I'm telling you, this is going to be a great time. You know what, Neal, I always say destinations, the Oasis, it's all about the journey. Thursday's a journey part for
And
us
the
in the whole
destination.
scheme. Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, for some of us. But Spenny, you know what? And Spencer Raxter, if you weren't with us last Thursday for a national holiday in my world, 420, we were out at the Dispo. And Spencer, we all got to experience Spencer on opening day for the Tigers, and he was in rare form and doing it, interviews, rocking and rolling, shots and beers and stuff like this. And then he came out and said at 420, this was way better. This is the greatest day. I predict after this draft party, Spenmo Rax will have experienced the elevation of
zen.
great days to the zen of the great days, all within a month's time, Spenny. All within a month's time.
Yeah, I think so.
And
I think so.
Do you know why I say that? Because you know how I am with the universe and stuff like this. Last night, and I caveat this because I got to get the wrestling. And last night on Rivals, right? They did Bret Hart, and they did Stone Cold Steve Austin, where they had the trilogy of matches where it ended up in the submissive match in WrestleMania 13. Why I bring this up? Do you know the date of WrestleMania 13 was March 23rd, 97? Sweet Revenge happened March 26th, few days later. What I'm just saying that is greatness can come all at once, right? Because to me, Stone Cold Steve Austin is my guy. What I did to Claude Lemieux a few days later. So your universe is lined up, Spenny. This is going to be awesome.
It's your time. Spenmo
Your
Raxter,
time.
it's your time.
I'm excited.
Are you ready for the show? Are you going to put on a show?
I am. It's gonna be.
Just the quiet confidence.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I can't wait for it.
I can't either, man. And if the people you want to roll out, Spenmo, you'll knock them back, right?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna worry about driving now. So.
No, we'll get you home.
Yeah.
We'll get you home. We'll get you a
dear.
car. Too bad they didn't have
You're not driving. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just
It's going to be an
see you
event.
Friday.
Yeah.
And $10 at the door if you, or you can get them at eventbrite.com.
However you want to do it.
However you want to do it.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jump in there, Detroit Dabber 313. Good morning, Dabber. Back in there as well. Our guy Pete took my daughter to Bluey yesterday. Paid $50 for parking.
I saw another couple tweets on stage for an hour kids showing you $55 downtown to park. Yeah. Hey, you know what? The district ain't paying for itself.
No, you are. The district ain't paying for itself.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
By the way, when did this Bluey character come along?
I don't know who that is.
That's all the social media timeline was over the weekend. It was Luke Combs and Bluey.
I've never heard of Bluey, but I don't have kids. So,
I have kids. I've never heard
Bluey
of Bluey.
ain't what it used to be 30 years ago.
Hey.
Anyways, before, I'm not going to let anybody glance over this, because tomorrow night, and yes, I need 4 for tomorrow night, Neal.
Okay, we'll make it happen.
Make sure, tomorrow night, let's go. DCFC downtown
Minnesota
Keyworth.
United, MLS matchup in the U.S. Open Cup. So,
Absolutely. I will be in the building. I will be doing the walkover, so I'll see everybody up Folding before. But let's get this season started right. Big win, just like last year.
Yeah, but obviously we have all that going on. We're going heavy draft. We're obviously going heavy Jameson Williams as well. This weather sucks. I hate it. I was physically mad yesterday. Came home, played in the over 40 basketball league up at the church, and came home to mow the lawn, and got physically upset with how cold it was out there. Spenmo.
yeah.
And, can we move on now?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for summer.
Well, it's the Michigan tease, right? Give us a week, wet our palate with the good stuff, and then bring this garbage back in.
Well, yeah, but, you know, I physically got mad, but then I got the good news today that the Oakland Golden Grizzlies tweeted out. It is official. Oakland will participate in the 2023 Cayman Islands Classic. So right before Thanksgiving, old Neal Ruhl will be vindicated as far as the weather goes. Playing in that with Wake Forest, Ole Miss, Utah State out of the Mountain West, NCAA tournament. It's a tough field. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. But that's not the point of it. The point of it is the weather will be great. So
that's all you can ask for.
Well,
week,
you got that going Thanksgiving. Way
Yeah.
to look ahead.
Hey, it's those things, man. It gets you through. So, Detroit Dabber 313, Neal mowing his own lawn. Now I know he's lying. Yeah, 100%.
Can I ask you guys, because you're the UFC guys here and stuff like this, and there was a would you say pretty big fight this weekend? You know, for the ones that are interested. And I only bring this up because, you know, the UFC seems to be, you always talk about that you watch your son's into it, obviously doing the stuff like this. And as far, do you find that the connection, like with the kids at your son's age, like Cristiano, is it because of his martial arts interest and his involvement in it that he likes to watch that, or is UFC have like a younger viewership?
Well, I think UFC fits the billing like everything else, right? I think UFC is popular for, obviously there's action, right? Except when they get on the ground and they just kind of lay there, but it moves, right? The fights, a non-title fight is 3 rounds. 3 rounds, 5 minutes a round. That's it. Boom, boom, boom. It's like soccer. It's like NCAA softball. The reason you're seeing explosive growth in all of those forms, the time element. It starts, it's over. The next one starts, it's over. That's what we like. We've proven. That's what we like. We like things to move. Look at baseball. And D-Mac, I'm glad you brought that up because I am watching an inordinate amount of baseball again.
Right.
And I don't know why. I mean, I know why. It's just when I turn the game on, they do this weird thing where they like pitch the ball. And then they get the ball back, and then they pitch the ball again.
You know what it's turned into, and you mentioned that you're back in action in the church basketball league. You know, people who play softball. It's got the flow of a softball game more than anything else. You know, like underhand. Here we go. It's you know, the count. You know, next thing you know, how many times where you'll turn away and you'll turn back, and it's either 2-0, 1-1, and you're like, wait. He already threw 2 pitches. You know, usually if you go to the bathroom, you can miss 2 outs.
And I think UFC speaks to like the duality of man. It's like primal urges, 2 dudes, gladiator combat, locked in a cage, trying to kill each other.
Yeah,
like,
bloodlust.
It's hard to not be like, okay, let's get fired up.
Real quick on this, right? As I looked at Tank Tia KO'd Ryan Garcia, and I listened to you guys talk about well, what's this mean? My question is there's a lot of fights, right? Is it becoming watered down, or is it just as exciting because they have the secret with the time element?
Here's what's funny about it, D-Mac, because Brandon Katz in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread says UFC has made boxing irrelevant, and then 3 messages later, King Yoda says the only big fight this weekend was Tank versus Garcia. UFC will never outdo boxing in pay-per-view numbers, which is also true, by the way. You talk about duality. That's what makes me laugh about the UFC boxing thing, man.
But UFC didn't they transform? Isn't it more Fight Plus? And it's not. It's more of streaming, and it's more of to the WWE Peacock experience where you pay the monthly subscription instead of paying $50 for this fight like it used to be. Isn't it more on the norm to that?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're doing a great job of taking just that second tier of fight and making a big deal out of it, and you can watch it, and that's what kind of hooks you in.
It's like in wrestling, making the independent scene or doing all the stuff other than the TV stuff relevant.
Right. Cobzilla says, boring on the ground. Neal doesn't know jiu-jitsu. Well, that's what my son competes in is jiu-jitsu, Cobzilla. I'm talking to the general sports fan, you know, not a nuanced, you know, MMA fan. Obviously, you know, there is action on the ground. But if you're just a sports fan, like a bloodlust person, like Spenmo had talked about, that's an element of it. That like, it's true.
Bloodlust.
You know, like, it's true. I don't think they don't quite understand the nuance. Like, they would say that's a break in the action. I get what you're talking about, though, Cobzilla. I do. It is just funny to me. But we are going Heavy NFL draft. Heavy Detroit Lions. After I tell you about Cintron, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. And right now, that exclusive offer is still going on for Woodward sports fans. Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. Boom, you get the 6-pack sampler box delivered to your door for $15. $15, free shipping. And you get to try it all. The classic cranberry, classic or sugar-free. You know what? Why wait? Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. Order it to your door. $15. It's Cintron, Darren McCarty.
Drink it. Live it. Love it. With Cintron.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
New rule for Custom Health Centers. Are you feeling tired, depressed, or unmotivated? You have low sex drive, muscle loss, or you got some belly fat piling up? Testosterone optimization therapy. That's the safe, effective way to restore your vitality, confidence, performance, and reduce your risk for heart disease. Visit CustomHealthCenters.com today. Again, CustomHealthCenters.com, or give them a call, 877-965-0910. We are off and running here. Big D Energy on a Monday. NFL Draft Week. Get it in, everybody. Now it's time to be bricked up. You get the sign off. You can be fully bricked. Spenmo, can you carry the brick all the way through?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How long have you been bricked up for?
I've been bricked up for a while.
Bricked up.
Give me a week. Number of weeks.
Oh, it's at least 4 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah. It's
Youth.
finally here.
That's youth, everybody. Before we do the draft stuff, though, obviously D-Mac was not here when the news dropped about Jameson Williams. I do want to get his take on it. I kind of have some nuanced thoughts. I want to hear your guys' takes now that the emotion has subsided. And remember, we're dealing with the fact it's a 6-game suspension. That's it. He's back in October, which, my take has largely remained unchanged from Friday. But D-Mac, by the way, Shane Sandrock, real quick, says, be bricked or be a bozo. So
bozo,
there's that
118,
as well.
I like it.
Yeah.
Brick, not bozo.
D-Mac, where did you weigh in on this? Has your opinion changed from the beginning to now? Get me up to speed. Where are you at with it all?
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, I missed out when the action, but I was glad that Terry was here and Sam was on the desk and you two yelled at each other. But you were both right. It's no, like to some degree. Okay, can we agree? Stupid rule. Stupid to the fact that the kid wasn't betting on NFL, but the rule was, and trust me, it's coming from a guy who didn't like the rules, that pushed the envelope, that suffered from it, to whatever. But the reality is what he did. You did the crime where it was tracked to whatever else, right, from the building. So now you're going to face your 6 games. To your point, he comes back out. He's ready to play. This refocus him or whatever else. He scores touchdowns. We look back in week 16, 17 and go, oh, remember that thing? What happened? It's a bygone, right? It's irrelevant if he's producing and we're winning. To Sam's culture conversation, it is like when you're building culture, you just don't have culture. It's not a balloon. You don't blow it up and it's there. Right? This is, if you would say, a little chink in the armor. But to me, it's more of locker room. Now, when I say don't tell me right or wrong, explain the why, I can explain the why. From a guy that has sort of wandered on his own path or gone astray at different times, especially when injured. Because what happens when you're injured in a professional league, right, is you're not the focus. right? The team's the focus. So yes, you have trainers and guys and stuff how you're going to get back into it, but you're not part of the A squad, which means you have extra time on your hands, right? Which means that if you are not insulated, right, by somebody else, like here's the gosh darn truth, right? Back in the day, Neal, in the locker room, if I did something, was out, came hungover, still drunk to practice or whatever, I didn't get in trouble. You know who got in trouble? Chris Draper. Because I was his responsibility. And then it would be because when you're your brother's keeper. That's what you don't have yet. But let's look at the why you have that culture built yet, because it's only 2 years in to this tenure. This is something that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are aware of. I think it's something that they will deal with, and it's something that it plays out. Now, you mentioned the fact that he didn't do anything wrong. Rules are rules out, no matter how stupid they are or want. I'm the first one to stand up here and argue logistics to whatever else. But in this case, you did the crime, you got to do the time. What I want to see is, do you spend this time focusing on football? Because I think the bigger question is, and I asked this question in the back to the boys, I said, when we think of Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? There is no question that guy's 100% football focused first, right? When we think of Jameson Williams, what's your percentage on for him there? Mine isn't 100 as far as football focus. And I can understand that. Maybe this is a wake-up call, right, to the organization and stuff like this. But to see how it plays out, we have to wait. And this could be the greatest lesson, that it refocuses them, or it could prove to be a further problem. So that is, I hope that sort of lies it out. At the end of the day, it doesn't change task at hand, doesn't change, Stoke not scared. It doesn't, because this is what good teams do, and teams have done. Great teams, they've had adversity. This is some sort of first case adversity locker room, maybe not, that we've heard of and stuff like this. So we'll see how it plays out.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, as always. The real K Collins 77 will be able to play in preseason games. Yes, he is, because he can still go through the preseason. Nothing changes. The only thing that changes is he can't play the first 6 games. And D-Mac, my point with it all was he didn't do anything wrong. The location he did it made it wrong. And look, I'm not here to argue the semantics about it. I understand. So he wasn't able. He's not supposed to do it there. He did it. Is it stupid? Yes, it's stupid. But it's 6 games and it's over. My point and my anger through all this came from the people. And you guys were, Sam Flannel, you were here like immediately. It was like, we're done with them. Get them out of here. Multiple people were like, they got to cut him, which was stupidity to me. Absolute stupidity.
That is stupid. To me, like I said to you before the show, the imperativeness, right? Like that, the fact, if you did this coming from, it's one of these things that sometimes you got a kindergarten. Do you know the term that if I say we got a kindergarten this,
yes,
which means you got to make it as basic as possible. So coming from the top, I guess when the rules came down, it was just assumed by everybody, but it wasn't made to be the end all be all. Right? Because at the top of the organization, as the GM or the coach, you can stand in that meeting room and make this the worst thing, worse than doing bad things to kitties and puppies. Right? That's the priority. But again, people just assume that they would understand this because that was the rule. But he broke the rule in the place that he wasn't supposed to break it. Don't cross that line or you get shot. Well, he just, had a foot in that line and one foot was across, but you crossed the line. You did something that wasn't
and he
accepted.
got suspended 6 games, and that's it. That's it. That's all. Brandon says that's a horrible take. He broke the rules. He did something wrong. Brandon, what he did was not wrong. That was their words. What he did was not wrong. Where he did it was wrong, which is why he was suspended 6 games. So you know what? We move on. Like, what is the problem here? Like, what is the issue? He got a 6-game suspension. At the end of October, when he comes back, he plays. That I don't understand. Why can't we wrap our head around this, dude? Why?
The problem is because he's your first rounder and because you've been waiting to pull the Lamborghini out of the shop and you only run it on test run and test drive, and he was supposed to be the biggest difference. And obviously, the fact that it was the receivers room, so now it depletes your receivers, so people are just frustrated. But trust me, when things happen in good organizations, they adjust. So we wait and see how Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and what they said to deal with it. They knew it was coming. If you don't think they weren't prepared for this, it's just unfortunate. The spotlight, though, is the commitment, where people can question, is he fully committed or not? And I think that it's just the frustration of the fans to say, well, he's not in, he's in the way, get him out of here. That's not the case. That isn't in this case, because Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell made it apparent to whatever else. But rules are rules.
And look, the
stupid rules are still rules, right?
Which is true. Yeah, which I agree with, and I say, hey, but the fact of the matter is, it's a 6-game suspension. Spemo, I'll ask you, man. Why does everybody get so emotionally triggered over this?
I don't know.
Why can't we just be a professional about it here and say, this is what it is, man.
Yep.
It's 6 games, we move on. So what? You're not going to be rooting for this guy when he comes back because he's a quote bad guy?
I think the people that get emotionally triggered over it are people that are looking for something to hate about him. It's obviously it was a bad decision on his part, and now he's dealing with the consequences. But it's not like he was doing anything devious or terrible.
It was his activity was allowed, just not immoral, in that location.
Or immoral or threatening the game's integrity. He was betting on college basketball. This is nothing crazy. This is not something to be up in arms for Jamo about. Yes. Was it a bad decision? Yes. Is he suffering the consequences for it? Yes. Does that hurt the Lions' chances? Yes. And I'm sure he's taking it just as hard as anybody, because he wants to go out there and he wants to win. But people that are throwing him under the bus saying get rid of him have been looking for a reason to do that since he got here.
Somebody asked, too, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Let me see, where was that? Oh, Peaceful Tim. Since he forfeits his guaranteed salary, how does that impact our salary cap, Neal? Well, yes, his fully guaranteed status voids because of the gambling suspension. So it's not something where they will have much, if not a lot, of dead cap to take on now. This year his dead cap number's 7.4. The next year it's 4.9. And the following year it's 2.4. And that's because of the signing money that they paid out when they drafted him. So, it becomes very, very minimal now. So if you did want to move on, it's much easier to move on. However, I'm not in that camp.
Not a chance.
Because every time he touches a ball, he seems to score a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fair take?
I mean, well, yeah.
Again,
not a big sample size, but yes.
I was about to say, you got to include all 2 of them. You just have to.
Well,
I'm not being unfair.
The third one got called back because of a penalty.
I understand that, but still, that would be 3 in 6 games.
And one of them was underthrown.
Absolutely.
So that would have been another one.
Well, he scored anyway.
Well, no, the one against
the Jets, I believe.
The Jets, yeah. He was behind the defense. I had to wait for it in the end zone and got broken.
I think Alex Barrow says it the best. And he's all capital, so I know he's serious. He's too brick to care. Too brick to care. That's what it is. Christmas week. Here we go. Wow. Yeah. Let's see. Monday, Tuesday. 3 more sleeps, boys and girls. 3 more sleeps.
3 more sleeps. There you have it, everybody. So, yes, it is NFL draft week. I do want to ask the people what they think, because we got the question in here, and I do want to touch on it because it was something that I feel we really needed to talk about. If you were thinking about getting lunch today, something else we really need to talk about.
Yeah, if you're thinking about getting lunch, there's really only a couple decisions you can make, and one of them is obviously Cousins Maine Lobster, because Woodward Sports is brought to you by Cousins Maine Lobster Detroit. Check out their food trucks rolling around the city, offering the tastiest lobster rolls, lobster tacos, and more. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com to search locations to find the Detroit schedule, or download the app to order ahead and earn points. You can even scan that QR code right there and figure out where they are rolling around the city. Make sure you check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some sunshine in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians who take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm. The number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member, they will stay on the phone with you as long as it's needed, but I need you to give them a call today. The number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Technology backed by people. Yes, real people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work. And Homo sapiens, real flesh and blood, that has been proven to care about what you care about. They care about. Even that guy, the legend killer, Sam Flannel. They've been protecting those flannels for how many straight days, Sam?
261.
261 straight days of flannel protection. Hey, guys, it's not me. It's Guardian Alarm. Business, personal, whatever it is. They're ready to protect. So, please, if you have something so important as that guy over there, give Guardian Alarm a call today. The number, 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out of the second round of the playoffs, Dylan Brooks, and keep LeBron's name out your mouth, you bum.
Stay out of playing defense against the best player on the other team in the last possession, Aaron Gordon. You just got crossed over and a 3 buried in your face by Anthony Edwards for the win.
Well, you don't need Guardian Alarm to tell the Tigers to stay out of the win column. They didn't win a game all weekend.
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Wherever you are needed, they are there.
All right, back at it here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network off and running on a Monday. Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel.
Hey,
glad to have you along.
Just because you segued in with the Tigers thing, will you just give them the stat about the Oakland A's you gave me before? Will you please because that is going to blow. Guys, this is as bad as it is here with Detroit.
Yeah.
And as bad as it has been, this might be the biggest mind-blowing stat.
This is a good one to give real quick.
In a long time. Will you please?
Sure. So, the worst season-ending run differential, runs scored versus runs scored on you, the worst in the history of baseball since 1901, belongs to the 2003 Detroit Tigers.
Yes, we were there.
We were there. We saw it. They were minus 337.
337
runs for the year. Yeah, pretty bad, obviously.
That's ridiculous. But wait.
The 2023 Oakland A's are on pace to be minus 758 for run differential.
That's like double.
Double what the 2003 Tigers were. They may never win another game.
So it could always be worse. We could be Oakland. There you go. That was your Tigers feel-good moment.
But they're going to move to Las Vegas.
Lucky them. Then I'll actually see a Las Vegas athletic game.
We are talking about the Jameson Williams situation right now that the dust has settled. Are you less in your feelings? That's my question. I'm guessing not, because a lot of people have some of the same takes. And we're going to get to the NFL draft stuff. Well, Peter King came out with one. Peter King's pretty juiced into. We'll discuss that. But kind of mending the two things together. Brandon says Williams are likely to get a suspension reduced to 4 to 5 games, but that's still a lot of time. I have heard no discussion of an appeal, and I doubt that there will be an appeal, because this is the gambling thing, and they're not going to push it. They're not. They're just going to take the 6 games, and they're going to roll on. Other guys got the whole year. Now, they were betting on NFL games. I know it's different, but apparently we have these quite clear lines of delineation all of a sudden. So,
hey, so let's speak on this, because I was going to bring this up, and W3 brings it up, and Sam, you brought it up in the back earlier, that W3 says you guys are missing the biggest point. Hold on, where'd it go? Stop, you thread. You missed the biggest point anyways. The mistake is whatever, but going to Vegas this weekend and posting an Instagram video about gambling, this is what Jameson Williams does. He says W3 is unforgivable. Cut him. No.
Why?
Right. Why for doing it the right way now? And I think it's like the people like.
Why are you people looking for something to be triggered about with this guy? Why? He can go to Las Vegas and bet on any fight he wants. He can go do that. That has nothing to do with this. And save it's a bad look. Save the college shit. All right? This is the NFL. This is professional football. He can go do that, everybody. He can go do what he wants on his time. What is the problem? What is everybody's issue with this? Yes, he can go to Vegas and bet on what he wants. He's an adult. He's of legal gambling age. It's already been said they're allowed to bet on this stuff. What is the problem with Jameson Williams? What is the problem?
Did anybody take the angle of the fact of him sort of throwing it back and just saying, "Look, I'm doing it right now"? That's
exactly.
That's how I took it.
He got his 6-game suspension.
Neal,
he moves on.
Point, when he, if he produces on the field, everybody's good.
I don't care what he does on his time. Why do you? Why are we looking to be triggered about this? It's business. He got a 6-game suspension. We move on. He still trains with the team. I'm guessing they had the weekend off, right? So he could go to Las Vegas and go to the fight and bet on it if he wants to. I don't care. What is the problem? How is it impacting the Lions? How is that taking away from the culture? What is this? What is our obsession with this college line of thinking?
It is again. You get punished for violating the rules, and then yet when you follow the rules that are in place, why do people care?
Aaron S. Jamo can do no wrong in Neal's eyes. Unbelievable. Just keep ignoring the endless rent. Okay, Aaron, so you want him out of here, right? You're not intrigued by the fact that he scores a touchdown pretty much every time he touches a ball so far? You're not intrigued by that? I am. I care about talent. He's a good football player. I've seen it. That's what I'm intrigued by.
Can I ask a question? Are we back into the conversation of this and projected wise or whatever, but this is sort of the Randy Moss draft situation, right? Are you going to take it? Is there a character, right? We're talking about character, and when it went back to is what was the knock on the Lions, is that until they would take guys that maybe weren't, Boy Scouts or whatever with a little bit of character issue they've passed on in the past. Isn't this sort of maybe what they need? Now, here's the thing. He's got to play along, and he can't. The biggest part about the suspension is that he cost his team, and he's not there to help them, and especially after we've waited a year of him being hurt. That's the frustrating part, right? So, but at the end of the day, like it really is irrelevant of what he shows on the IG as long as it's within the rules, right? He got nailed for breaking the rules, and now he's going to sit there. But how is everybody going to say is that where your team's at right there, you know that this player can be an integral part and take you over the top player? Like, this is a dime a dozen. We're talking about him as a sports car from day one, a Ferrari, Lamborghini. You don't get rid of those things.
Here, guys, one more time for everybody, okay? Here's a difference between Quintez Cephas and Jameson Williams, other than the activities they did. Here's a difference. Jameson Williams is electric. Quintez Cephas, not so much. That's it. That's the difference. If that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. But that's the way that the professional football world works. If you can play, you get a little extra, guys. You just do. Like, get over this. And Mike G, I see you working right there. I saw it right there where you're like, dear Jamo, the team. Just saying. Mike, I hope that you're clowning.
He is.
Okay. I suspect it. I like Mike. I think Mike likes me.
Mike's
except
the man.
When we
Mike
talk
G's
about
the man.
Michigan football, we have differences, but that's fine. That's cool. That's what makes this stuff fun. I'm tired of this sentiment. So what? So what, Aaron S? Cut him then, right? Cut him. Get him out of here.
You know what? Let me defend Aaron S for a second there,
Please
because
do.
that is not at all what he was saying. There's nuance to this. The problem is that after this suspension is over, in his first year and a third, Jamo will have given us basically nothing as an NFL player. Do I think he can be productive when he gets back? Absolutely. But so far, he hasn't shown us anything.
He hasn't shown you anything?
2 times he touched the ball. 2. You were the same guy that got up there when Aiden Hutchinson was drafted number 2 overall and was like, you better produce. You have to produce.
And he did.
Jameson Williams hasn't produced anything. You're basically just saying, oh, he's got potential, and now he can do absolutely no wrong. I'm not saying cut him. I'm just saying that it's
When
alarming.
did I say he can do no wrong, by the way?
By your actions.
What did I say?
He never said that. He said he's gonna do the. He did the crime. Now he's got to do the time.
Service suspension.
But that could hurt the team.
Here's the whole thing.
Game.
You have a generational, possibly that generational talent that you want to throw that out when this could be the difference.
Nobody
he hasn't helped his case. He hasn't helped his case, but you are in not a position. Do you remember this is the same team that hasn't won a friggin' playoff game for 30 years? Correct?
Absolutely. And I want him on this team. I want him to come back strong. He just hasn't shown us yet. He's touched the ball twice. In his one catch, he had one catch against Minnesota and 4 games with no catches.
You, Sam, do you want him to show you more on this team, or are you done with him because he isn't as mature as maybe we expected a 21 or 2-year-old to be?
I want him to show more when he gets back. I just need to see it.
So then we're waiting. That's the whole thing. So what is right?
Rather have him for those first 6 games.
So where is this about haven't done any wrong? Because I think at the beginning of the day he's done a lot of things wrong.
That's wrong. That's not a good thing, Neal. You can't just say that's not
good.
good.
That's awesome.
You're saying that it's basically nothing. Oh, he's going to come back and he's just automatically going to be great. We don't know that. We haven't seen it, Neal. We haven't seen it.
Why would you not think it? Look at what he's done on the field so far when he has played.
The difference is with him and other rookies is Hutchinson produced, Kirby Joseph produced, Malcolm Rodriguez produced, James Houston produced.
And in his sample size, he produced.
1 catch in 6 games.
In 9 targets.
9 targets. That's like 11% of your targets have been completed. You're giving him such a pass. He hasn't proven anything
and
yet.
It should have been 2 catches for 2 touchdowns, but one of the balls was underthrown.
And one of them was obviously called back and was a spectacular play.
I'm not even going to get granular about, catches per target and stuff like that. When the ball goes to him, do you get excited as a fan?
Of course I get excited.
Then what are we talking about here?
I want to see it for the first 6 games. I don't want him to get suspended.
Well, he did.
Okay.
So that's it. That's all. But I'm not going to cut the guy because of it. But he's a good football player.
You better demand that he produces when he gets back, because if he doesn't,
the same way I did with Hutchinson. Yes.
And if he doesn't, he's on bust alert.
And bust alert.
If he doesn't produce when he gets back, he's on bust alert.
Oh, I was told to have patience. I'll have patience.
Right.
Patience with
so
who?
the conversation now, when he comes back, he doesn't produce. Jared Goff doesn't have the arm to get it to him, right? There's so many arguments. What the fact is, the kid didn't help himself. I thought last year, wasn't him coming back, didn't we get like a bonus of maybe what it is or a taste of what it is? And there's something there. Right, but Sam, I'll back you to this: is that he wasn't the end all be all. There is, like I said, room for improvement. To me, a little bit. He looked a little bit timid in different ways, but that's what you expect out of youth. That's gonna have to grow to be around. He doesn't help his case to do this. Let's just see if there's more maturity coming out of it. But again, he is your 12th overall pick. He is somebody you're not going to fade to. And Neal, did I listen to you correctly that by him being stupid, he actually benefits the team in the salary cap?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get granular on it,
if you want
to
get granular, so there it is.
You got a guaranteed obligation off the books. If you really want to, if you want to be a professional about it, and really boil it down. So maybe it was good, Sam Flannel. So if he is a bust like you say he is,
I never said that. I never said that. He's on bust alert if he doesn't produce. First year,
everybody's on bust alert if they don't produce.
But most people don't give you your first year and a third of nothing. That's all.
It's not nothing.
It is nothing. It is nothing.
I just asked you. Do you get excited when you see the ball going to him?
I get excited when he touched the ball twice.
But he's a bust.
And can you
he's
wait
on bust alert.
His first year and a half, can you wait for him to play 16 games at least? He's played 6 games. He came in off a torn ACL. You knew he wasn't going to play for the beginning of the season.
Did you know when they took him that he wasn't going to play for the first 8 to 10 weeks of the year?
I did know that, but I didn't know he get a 6-game suspension the next year.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
So you did know that.
I did know that, but I didn't know he was going to get suspended for the first 6 games of the next season. That matters. Okay.
And guess what? Then when the suspension's over, he goes back to playing.
He just this
isn't some. I just don't get the feelings that everybody has here.
It's not feelings. It's the fact that he's going to basically not help the team at all for the first year and a third. That's it. That's all.
Okay,
It's
well,
not feelings.
Aiden Hutchinson, right?
Yeah.
We had the 29th ranked defense last year,
And
right?
I'll tell you what, I hammered
Did
him
we?
at the beginning. Yeah.
Did we?
I mean,
well,
it was
keep
like
that
20
energy then.
Okay, but he was the rookie leader in sacks.
We had the 29th ranked defense.
He was
Flannel.
the rookie leader in sacks. Jameson Williams had 1 catch for 41 yards and 1 carry for 40 yards. There's a difference. There's a little bit of a difference.
Well, hey, keep that same energy. That's the 29th rank. I'm giving you analytics, Flannel.
Hey, Jameson Williams, all I'm saying is I really hope and think that he will produce when he gets back. I'm praying, but he hasn't produced yet. Let him do it.
He hasn't played.
But he's costing himself 6 more games.
Chili Damon says, by Flannel's logic, Cade Cunningham is a bust also. Bust alert.
Cade
Cunningham's on bust alert.
Fucking rookie
Cade's on
season,
bust alert
dumbass.
too?
I guess so.
God damn.
Oh,
these
come
people.
on, man. Why does Cade have to be on bust alert?
I guess he's on bust alert. I
In a
don't know.
whole rookie season, you dumbass.
We cracked
Not
the flannel.
you, the person.
We cracked the flannel.
Strawberry Fest is not on bust alert. Never has been, never will be at Big Boy. That is right. Try the classic breakfast items like the strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Not a breakfast person? That's fine. Try the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or cool off with the refreshing summer splash salad. Don't forget to get dessert. That's the point of Strawberry Fest, everybody. The delicious classic strawberry pie. You can get deep fried vanilla Oreos too. That's more D-Max lane, I would guess. Or strawberry hot
100%.
fudge cake. All that and more. It's Strawberry Fest, everybody. Get to your local Big Boy today.
You've heard of Gordon Ramsay. You've heard of Bobby Flay. But Thursday night Master Chef Brad Holmes will be in the kitchen with all of the ingredients needed to make a great dish on draft night. Join Woodward Sports for our 3rd annual Woodward Sports Draft Party live at 5th Avenue in Royal Oak. The past 2 years, these parties have been standing room only, so get your tickets early at eventbrite.com. Don't miss out on all the fun with Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, and the entire Woodward Sports crew. The party starts at 7:30 p.m. Don't miss the biggest draft party in the Motor City, brought to you by the biggest network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you find the cleanest salons in the D. Spotless, sanitized rooms, and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club. Get all the best deals. They'll beat the competitors' prices by at least $5. And don't forget, you can pick up the Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Cal Tan, and Spencer Raxter's personal choice Swedish beauty lotions.
Oh, yeah.
Go to chilipepperstanning.com. Find out which one of the 27 locations works best for you. Chili Peppers Tanning, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans at Chili Peppers Tanning.
Chili Peppers tan?
Yeah. Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. And, you know, I don't understand what everybody's in their feelings about. But we continue to show it.
Greatest $2 ever spent.
Yes. Tim France, by the way, in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Just sending this in to tell everybody Flannel Sam is a bozo. So there's that as well.
I guess Tim France doesn't demand greatness out of his number 12 overall pick. That's how I can tell.
How about this, guys? You ever take this thing is that we really haven't played. We got a short sample size, obviously, about what it might look at. But really, they're dealing with an offense that really Jameson Williams hasn't been a key piece, a centerpiece. It's just been a caveat, play here or there. So it doesn't really...
Who averages 40 yards every time he touches the ball, too.
All 2 of them.
It'd be different if he played a season. We knew exactly what we were going to get, and he did this thing, and he cost the team, right? So the fact that... the fact that we really haven't seen, to the fact that the contract and he's the first overall, he's going to get more time to see if he's a bust. But I think your Cade Cunningham bust is a little aggressive.
I never said that.
That's congruent with his logic.
No, it's not. No, it's
not. It's congruent with your logic.
Cade Cunningham had a full rookie season and no third of a season suspension. That's a big difference. Come on now. Cade Cunningham had a whole rookie season in which he arguably could have won Rookie of the Year.
Should have.
You can say that.
Big Show Pick says, Sam, when Jamo wasn't available, the Lions were 1-6. When he was available, they were 5-1.
Jesus Christ. Well, while basically contributing nothing. While contributing nothing.
40 yards every time he touches the ball.
All 2 of them.
I
guess that's good enough for
Hey, how many sacks did Aiden Hutchinson have?
9.5. Great rookie season.
Okay.
You're not supposed to have more sacks than that. Okay, obviously Jameson Williams was injured, but two times touching the ball and 9.5 sacks, that's a big difference.
Well, yeah, because he got to play more games.
He did. And Jameson Williams gets to play 6 less next year.
Okay, keep that same energy.
Well, hopefully the rest will make him healthy.
I forget who sent this in, and this was supposed to be the point of the last segment. I forgot how we got on. Oh, somebody triggered me in the chat. That's fine. What? I can turn that on and turn that off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can address the issue, and then we can move on. I'm a professional, like Chili Peppers Tanning and all the tanning people they have. But here's the take. Someone asked this. My apologies. I forgot who it was. Something to the effect of, does this change what the Lions do in the draft? Not for a second.
No.
A receiver is out for 6 games. You're telling me you're going to alter the entire strategy of an NFL draft because a receiver's out 6 games. And you know what? If you do want to draw lines in the sand, I will say that. Like, I'm not heartbroken about 6 games. I wish he was playing, but he's not. And then in the 7th game, he'll be back. So I move on. You don't change what you're doing because a receiver's not available for 6 games.
I guess my question to you guys is, how much before this coming out did the Lions know that this was going to happen? I got to think.
I believe the timeline was up to a month before it was announced.
Now, so my question is during free agency, before they re-sign Marvin Jones and doing the negotiating with DJ Chark and stuff like this, was that into play? So my point being is that Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, like, they knew it was coming. So their game plan for it hasn't changed just because the news came out. They were prepared for it. And it's a receiver. So whether it's going to be a veteran guy that they can bring in that's expendable, that can learn a bunch of X or Y plays, right, that can do his job for the first until Williams comes back, or they maybe what it does alter in the draft is that 5th or 6th rounder that they, instead of taking this guy, that they say, okay, we're going to use it on a receiver to get another body in there. Because they did lose Quintez Cephas and more and stuff too. So they lost other guys.
They lost bodies.
Bodies, yes.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Everybody jumping in on that. Peaceful Tim makes a very good point. I want to get Sam Flannel's take on this. You only draft a wide receiver if something happens to Tom Kennedy. And that's fair.
No.
We got to get Tom Kennedy on the show. I think we have to do
I'm
that.
down.
TK85.
That'd be electric.
It would be. I'm a big believer in him.
Flannel can legend kill him to his face.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we can show the big 3rd down catches he made to win football games on the road. But I am in that camp. Uncle Neal soft feet, let Kennedy cook. Real cream of wheat. TK85 had more catches than Jamo too. So we should cut Jamo then, right, Flannel, and give TK85 his snaps?
No, you shouldn't cut Jamo. You should let him obviously come back and see what he has. But it is kind of a bad sign that TK85 had more catches than Jamo last year.
But he's a better player though.
He's not a better player. No.
But I thought Jamo was a bust.
I said that if Jamo doesn't produce, this suspension makes him more likely to be a bust than he was before. If he comes back and produces, then I'm going to be
based on what?
Why do you say that?
Yeah.
Because he misses 6 weeks.
Missing 6 weeks isn't nothing. You guys act like it's the most innocuous thing in the world. It's
but he's coming back to play.
He's coming back to play.
He's not gone. They're not shooting him to the moon in a rocket. He's coming back to play.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm demanding in like the strongest form that he produces, and you all should too. Because if he doesn't.
And what's production? Like touchdowns or whatever, or the fact that what I want to see is hopefully maybe this extra time and this slap on the peepee or whatever refocuses them, but the speed has to be there.
Okay.
Was the speed, like, here's the thing. What if the ball doesn't get to him? Is it catches? I agree with you. He can't be out there dropping the ball when the ball's thrown to him
sure,
and stuff
no
like
doubt.
this.
I agree with that.
Totally, but what is he doesn't have, does a wide receiver with the capabilities that he has with speed, right, where it's something that he blows the top off and stuff like this, lose his ability to catch the ball or whatever? What's the problem? It's usually about can you get it to him with a little bit of time or a little bit of space, right? It's the quarterback and stuff like this. Aren't you worried more about not him catching the ball or running fast? It's about if the ball can get to him?
Wide receiver is like the one position in all of sport that their success is directly dependent on another player's success. So it is a little different.
Sure, that's true. Here's again, and this illustrates what I'm talking about. And Ermanni says, and I haven't seen you in the chat before, welcome to the show, appreciate it. With that being said, Jamo has to produce and stay off the radar. The radar's got nothing to do with it. Your text was perfect when you said Jamo has to produce. Period. I don't care if he's on the radar, off the radar, in Vegas betting on UFC,
and nobody cares
not in
if
Vegas.
He's producing what radar he's on.
Not care.
Nobody does.
He's paid to play football. Play football well. That's it. I'm not looking to legislate his life. I don't care where he goes.
You play to win the game.
Like, guys, again, and I wanted to get to something about this, and here we are again going through this. Spemo, help me here. Help me. Is it me? Am I being obtuse about it?
No, I mean, I think Sam and other people think you're brushing over the suspension a little bit, but it's like it's there. It's happening. There's nothing anybody can do to change it, so we got to think of week 7. And I agree that he needs to produce, but I expect him to produce when he comes back.
But isn't this, but to your point about Neal, maybe to Sam and people think that you're grazing over it, but Neal's not. Maybe Neal's taking that there are more pressing, like Jameson Williams and your first rounder that did this. Usually the spotlight, we're all worried, oh, this, that. No,
I'm an idiot.
You got 50 other people on the team and a team that you've put in a position without this guy that you're moving ahead. So you know what? There's half of the part that I believe that Brad Holmes and the Lions coaching staff is like, screw this kid. Right? If he's going to come and play and be whatever he's going to be in, or he's going to be in the way.
have the resource to this sitting next to me, and that's bad on me that I didn't get to the point with it, which I'm going to when we come back. Flannel, tell them about Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance, give us a shot and you won't be disappointed. Email them at mark@swissins.com. That is mark@swissins.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Don't forget the Woodward Sports NFL Draft Show live in Royal Oak at 5th Avenue. Doors open at 5. You can get your tickets if you can get them at the door if you want. You can get them on Eventbrite as well. Just $10. Roll on in. We're going to have a good time. Spencer Raxter will be there. And you know in and of itself that is a guaranteed good time no matter what. And you know, don't forget, too, the podcast page. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker. Subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast presented by Woodward Sports on there. Leave a 5-star review if you'd be so inclined. D-Mac, I have to apologize to the people. And Pistons Fan 11 says, because calling people bus is half of what a lot of people on this network do as a shtick. Well, Pistons Fan 11, I can't speak to that. I can only tell you guys I have never once looked in this camera or spoken to this mic and said something I don't believe or something that I don't think is true just for, quote, shtick. That's all I can do is control myself. But apparently I have a little more professional line of thinking than a lot of other people do out there because they're caught up in this college stuff. So being that as it may, I have to apologize to you, the audience. We have a resource to address this that's sitting in this studio. That's to my left, right there.
Sam Flannel. No.
Sam Flannel. I need your thoughts. D-Mac, let's cut the ish then, man. I'll put you on the spot.
This is where the comparison that I would go to.
Okay.
Right? And not to the fact of the same circumstances, but we're talking about missing time. Remember back after we won in 97 in Sergei Fedorov's contract?
Yes.
Sergei made a decision where he was sort of holding up, so to paint the picture, we just won the cup and his contract was up for the 97-98 season. Now, if you remember that, he didn't play until after February, after Carolina signed him to an offer sheet that Mr. Ilitch matched, right? How?
Begrudgingly.
October, November, December, January, February, 5 months, right? He made the decision to not play. Now, as a team, it's a different situation with Jameson Williams, but in sort of a decision that he's made, keeps him out for 6 games, which is less in my mind than what Sergei Fedorov. Bottom line, in the locker room, whether Sergei was there or not, and that's taking what we know out of the lineup, but it gives other guys an opportunity. And we weren't worried about that. It was, you hope he comes back, but we didn't know that there was a time frame. When we did know the time frame that he was coming back, if you do not remember, we were able to go back to back. And I always say that if you go back to the finals against Washington, that was Sergei Fedorov putting us on his back series. So what I'm saying is the cream rises to the top, and it worked out. And
you magically you were okay with that, right?
But we figured out a way. Now, was everybody happy about it or whatever? No, but it's part of what happens. It's like losing guys to injury or something like that. Yes, it'd be a lot easier to take if in a preseason workout Jameson Williams re-injured himself or injured something else and was out for the first 6 games of the season, right? It's a whole different conversation we'd be bringing up. But at the end of the day, if he comes back and produces now, in the meantime, it's a different situation because in the Jameson Williams situation, it's sort of what you cost yourself. It's not you dealing with the contract and holding out, but what we want to see or whatever is you want to hear things of sort of the recommitment. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter till week 7, 8, 9, till he's out there and we see what happens. But if anything, it's about the show must go on. And the show we're talking about, the Detroit Lions, has nothing to do but what? 2 games, 9 throws in a freaking season. 2 whatever last year. So we don't know what this team is with Jameson Williams. We speculate that it's going to be pretty good because of his talent, but really we don't know. And again, we won't find out. You're going to see little glimpses and hopefully stays healthy in training camp and in exhibition. But again, we wait and see. But it doesn't change. It's a refocus, yeah. For the weekend or for when the news comes out, guys are like,
Do you care he was in Vegas at a boxing match?
No, Dude, I don't care. I'm old school, bro. I don't care as long
you
as
went to Vegas in boxing matches.
When the puck drops,
are we ready to play?
Time, you're ready to go. Dude, listen. If I broke kayfabe and told you how a lot of different guys prepared for night before the game or whatever like that, it'd blow people's minds because it's not the norm.
People would be big mad around here.
Oh, they'd be big mad on some big guys.
Yeah. Judging by the early returns here, people would be big mad.
To that point is at the end of the day, it's production.
What about this? I think Vincent Law kind of drills this. Lions fans are scared. Scared the season is screwed. Scared no playoffs. Scared we're back to SOL. It's PTSD. Do you guys think that that's a little piece of it? It's been about
1,000%.
I agree, and that's a good catch.
Be PTSD, but then we got to jump back on a Stoke not scared. And this is, you know what? Aren't you happy? Like culture, just like I said, it just doesn't happen just because you're working on it. There are bumps in the road. Look at your family, right? Look at your family. Look at your household. Some days it's good, some days it's better, some days it's worse, but you grind through it, right? You grind through it and everybody's there, means to an end. That's what's going on. And maybe this does change things. Maybe the communication in Allen Park now will go more to kindergarten. Maybe, because it has to. because maybe you're dealing mentally with more college mentality. But whether they're treated like college or men comes out of there. And I always believe what you learn from Scotty Bowman is you don't treat everybody the same. You got to figure out what makes everybody tick. And you know what? If you got to be harder on me or put somebody around to make me more responsible and make me understand, that's psychology, and that's part of culture.
It all comes back to this, D-Mac. And you talked about Scotty Bowman. I'll bring up Wayne Fontes, the winningest coach in Detroit Lions history, who, when asked about Barry Sanders, said, would you expect him to be in training camp? He said, I treat everybody the same, differently.
Yep.
So there's winning coach. We're just talking about two winning coaches here. Winningest coach in Lions history.
Please don't come. I love Wayne Fontes, but please do not put him in Scotty
Lions
Bowman
fans.
category.
Winningest coach in Lions history. Now the losingest coach in Lions history.
Also.
It all depends on how you frame that one. Most tenured. And winningest. Man, we're building a hell of a resume.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Spenmo? Mm-hmm. Winningest coach in Lions history, most tenured coach in Lions history.
Yeah, it's something.
I miss Wayne.
I didn't know Wayne.
This season was never over. Spenmo, they would be 2-6, and they'd rip off 7 in a row and win the division and go to the playoffs. They'd be playing the Seahawks in the Silverdome, and the Seahawks would be down 1, kicking a field goal at the end of the game, and the ball would be going right through the middle of the uprights, and all of a sudden it would just shift over. You got to YouTube that. Chris Berman did it on NFL primetime.
Yeah.
It's like God came in and just swooshed the ball away. It was awesome. You need to. I'll send you the link, man. I miss Wayne. I miss Wayne a ton. But again, I was curious to see where everybody was with it. Apollo says my theory is that Okuda snitched. He was getting him back for wanting the number one, for stepping over his body to get the number one.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's entertaining.
One. Conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Real quick this morning, I think it just came out about an hour and a half ago or so. Spenmo, you have some news on what Albert Breer has put out there into the stratosphere. I want to get people's thoughts on it.
JB sent it to me. Shout out to JB in the back. He texted me, and apparently the Lions have already made calls about trading down from pick 18. So moving back, possibly.
That's it. Just, hey, you know what?
Putting feelers out there.
Moving back. That's what good teams do. And any positions, any teams, did Mr. Breer let us know maybe there's conversations? Was it Atlanta? Who was it? Of course, that's what you're supposed to do, Neal. Isn't it on Stoke Not Scared Monday? Let's go.
So Jeb Large says, so Jalen Carter at 6. The Lions aren't going to get the chance to take Jalen Carter. Not at 6. But that's another bad character guy. I know we don't like that around here because, he's a college kid that won a national title and was out at a party. That won 2 national titles and was out partying and stuff like that, made a bad choice, which I don't excuse. But when you're a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, different rules apply to you. Is that a fair statement?
Don't care. I do not care.
Well, maybe we do.
I don't.
I don't either.
Don't care. Still don't care. Still don't care. I don't care.
Maybe. So then be consistent, right? So I assume that everybody here that's in the anti-Jamo, the cut Jamo camp, you're not interested in drafting Jalen Carter at all. Are you interested, D-Mac?
Yeah, I'm always interested. I want best player. I mean, I still want Anderson or Carter. I don't think Anderson will be there, but, the Carter thing, all these questions that come up, you're more adamant that he won't be there than I am. I think there's still a chance. And I take him in a second. I always have. But again, it's the insulation and then, when you hear things about, Dan Campbell talking about interviewing, it's interesting hearing this, and Brad Holmes, I feel better about, after sitting down, whatever that means. Right? The bottom line at the end of the day, Stoke Not Scared, is letting my guy cook. Mm-hmm. It's time. The competition's here. It's the week. Prep's being made. Everybody else stepping up. And I can't wait till both these drafts, right? And the Pistons draft, to some point also. But the NFL draft, the NHL draft, I'm super excited for it to see what we're doing. And this conversation's about Albert Breer. Wait a freaking, hey, good. to tell me that my team is doing what real teams do. They talk to other teams in both directions, up and back and up and back. Hopefully you can only in a few years only move up because you are winning games and winning championships or whatever like that. We're not there yet, but Stoke not scared.
Kirk Ford says, Neal, are you prepared for the Lions to draft a quarterback at 6 or trade up to 3 to get a quarterback? Kirk Ford, I am not prepared for that.
Not time.
As a matter of fact. And I'll tell you this, if you guys are out at 5th Avenue on Thursday night for the Woodward Sports Draft Show, or if you're watching on YouTube, I believe like over 50,000 of you did last year, I will be staggered. I will still trust Brad Holmes. Obviously, I'm a simp for Brad Holmes. I've said that. But I will be staggered. It'll take me a moment to collect myself. Even me. It will take me a moment to collect myself.
I'll pop a bottle.
But I don't think that's going to happen because they are the betting favorite to win their division. And if you're the betting favorite to win your division, if 8 cents of every dollar bet on teams to win the Super Bowl is on you, then you fancy yourself as a Super Bowl contender. And Super Bowl contenders are not in the business of passing up an opportunity to take an impact player this year. Not a guy who's going to sit on the bench for a year or for 2 years. If 8 cents of every dollar bet on teams to win the Super Bowl is on you with your quarterback, then you think your quarterback's good enough to do it. Again, maybe that's overly logical. I get criticized for that.
That doesn't really correlate, but
how does it not, Spenmo?
Because the betting odds in Vegas doesn't show their faith in someone. The team's faith. They don't set their own odds in Vegas.
No. But I'm saying though that is the waters that everybody perceives them to be in, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. That's a fair take.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are in those waters, I don't think you're in a spot where you're going to forego a kick at the can and take somebody that's not going to help you for 2 years.
I would be extremely surprised if they took a quarterback.
So would I.
Yeah.
I would be. Now I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever.
I'm not saying I wouldn't be happy, but I'd be extremely surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that later on this week. Your line in the sand on some stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
I have a line in the sand that you probably won't like.
Well, keep it percolating.
Yeah.
Maybe on Wednesday. Your lines in the sand, your hot takes. We'll call it keeping receipts.
Okay.
And I'll be writing them all down. We will keep receipts on Wednesday. And you guys can all get involved with it, too. That's going to be a fun show. Hey, Planet Fitness, everybody. You know what it is. You can join your local club, $10 a month. That's it. That's all. Home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The thing that I like about it, the black card, the flexibility that offers you. $24.99 a month. You get access to over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses around the world with unlimited guest privileges. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There's over 50 of them in the Metro Detroit area alone. When we do all these remotes, I'm always a couple miles away from a Planet Fitness. Gym's cleaner than clean, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weight equipment. I've never had to wait for anything. And nobody else has had to wait for anything when I've been there. Even though I'm on that treadmill for an hour. Doesn't make a difference. There's an army of treadmills, an army of equipment. Let's go off script for a second here. Some of you guys are out there paying right now, and gals, $50, $60, $70 a month for your gym membership. Why? Because they have a rock wall or something like that? Come on, guys. Planet Fitness. I wouldn't work out anywhere else. I love the place. Can't recommend it highly enough. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty, where you can go to planetfitness.com and join right now. But it's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Peaceful Tim on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jalen Carter talks too much. Mozzie is the G. I haven't heard Jalen Carter say anything. Have you?
No.
Why do we build up these perceptions of people, man?
The thugs, Neal.
Why do we just?
That's my favorite.
Why do we just flat lie? Like, why do we just sit there and flat lie? Like, and just make shit up?
I don't know.
Like, I heard. Like, no, you didn't. You're stupid. And how do I know that? Because Philip C. said that I sucker punched somebody. And that is the farthest thing from the truth, because I looked him straight in the eye and I cold cocked him. The cold cock is what men do. When you look somebody in the face and you have the balls, right, to take it up with them instead of from behind. Like that, like blasphemy is certain like that. I'm just bringing it back to me as always, right? But no, feel free to say whatever you want in the chat. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. Even you, Philip C. We got Brandon Katz on here, Mike G., everybody else. We even let Sam Flannel in the booth. Equal opportunity lenders to whatever you want. So please, thank you for joining us anywhere you can, woodwardsports.com. If you want to get into the party, Thursday night is going to be the party.
Yes.
Right? You can. So that's the whole thing. Woodward Sports, not just the sports, the Detroit and stuff about the people. $10, come party with us. Come drink with Spenny. Right? Come and see that Sam Flannel is a real person, and those takes are real. He'll have a conversation with you.
Absolutely.
But excited. Be excited. This is the start of good stuff to come around. And like I said, Stoke Not Scared Week. Here we go.
I did want to touch on this one because it's Peter King. And look, I'm not one of these people in Detroit sports media that's just going to roll you mock draft after mock draft and then say, give us your 313, give us your thoughts. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm going to read about it and give you my thoughts and get your thoughts and talk about how our thoughts line up and all that kind of stuff. However, with this one, it is a little bit different because it is Peter King. And Peter King, I have a lot of respect for Peter King. There was nobody in football media that's more juiced than Peter King is. That's fair, right?
That is fair.
Schefter, obviously, he's used as more of like a
bridge from agents.
Bingo,
Yeah.
like a PR almost, a intermediary PR guy. Peter King talks to people, man, and he had his mock draft that came out. So I did want to touch on some of the highlights of it because I keep thinking about this scenario for the Detroit Lions. He has Carolina obviously taking Bryce Young. I think, have we settled on that more or less?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
every
like it would be stunning if it wasn't Bryce Young. At 2 though, and I keep hearing this from more and more. And I'm talking about like football guys. At 2, Tyree Wilson.
I'm cool with that.
From Texas Tech.
I'm cool with that.
They say, Peter King says that the Texans people say that that Tyree Wilson will be their version of Nick Bosa. That they see that. They see that in him. Quick twitch rusher.
Is Tyree Wilson the guy in this draft that's up? Is this the one that's up the board? Is this the?
He's the Trayvon Walker.
Is this this week's
Trayvon
draft?
Walker? Yep.
Okay, it is, right? So here he is, because he's always going to be. So who's the guy going the other way?
Will Anderson.
So the other way.
Apparently.
Peter King also is on this, and this is where I do kind of get a little cautious. Like people when they do mock drafts that forecast trades. But this Tennessee-Arizona trade that everybody keeps talking about that is going to happen, Peter King forecast that as well, that Tennessee makes the trade with Arizona. He also said the Titans have, quote, lost faith in Malik Willis, by the way. So there is that out there.
Yeah, they posted something about that a little while ago.
Yeah. So he says they're going to do C.J. Stroud at 3 for Tennessee. Indianapolis at number 4. This is Peter King again. This isn't, Mel Kiper or somebody like that. says Will Levis.
Bruh.
Which
he is the
good.
like. I cannot picture him playing for any other franchise other than Indianapolis. He looks like a Colts quarterback.
He does.
He does. He fits that Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck.
We know Ursay likes big white dudes playing quarterback, so I would not be surprised.
Hey, but those other big white dudes are some of the best prospects ever,
yes,
though.
Ballers, for sure, for sure.
Will Levis is, quote, a favorite of the Mannings, who have talked to some in the Colts organization.
Surprise.
Is Will Levis as a Detroit Lion the guy? Is it Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, or both, right? Because the more that you're throwing these guys, these quarterbacks that we don't like in there, opens up and leaves you one of these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope so. I hope it plays out that way. I hope Indianapolis does this stuff. But does this, like, how are you going to look at how you feel now, right? And we're going through the mock. How are you going to feel on draft day? Does this get you closer to the guy that you want?
Rich Diana in the chat says D-Mac has cojones of titanium.
And I wrote back to because I don't give a flying.
Yeah.
Right? That's a half.
Would you say they're built of titanium, though? Like, that seems aggressive. How do you get through
security?
security?
Over the years, they started.
They've oxidized.
They've oxidized. The oxidization process.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right, so moving on here. This is the Peter King Monday Morning Quarterback mock draft. So he has Indianapolis taking Will Levis. His reasoning is that their new coach might use Nick Foles as an interim while getting Levis or Richardson ready for the following season. This would be an interesting pivot point of the draft, and Levis going here would leave Seattle and Detroit smiling widely at picks 5 and 6.
Damn right it would.
So at number 5, he has Seattle taking Jalen Carter. And I'm getting to the point where we can almost Sharpie that. Just from everything that we've heard. The establishment's saying it. Spenny?
Yeah, I know.
You went with the establishment.
The establishment.
But they're saying it. The monolith. It's saying it, Spence.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'm just saying. Peter King says, there's some like Will Anderson's a cleaner player, I guess you could say. But the Seahawks say, quote, don't shy away from very talented players because of sketchy resumes. And backing that point up, this is the earliest that a Pete Carroll team has ever had a draft pick.
Wow.
And it's not theirs.
And it's not even theirs, yeah.
So think about that as well. John Schneider's 14th draft as GM of Seattle. They've never had a top 5 pick before.
That's pretty wild.
They also pick at number 20.
That's success right there.
No, it is 100%. So they think, and look, Spenmo, you pegged this from minute 1. You've said, hey, they've signed a lot of defensive tackles too, which they have. But the senses are that they're willing to go all in. But you know what name I didn't call. And they're not looking to reinvent the wheel.
The Detroit Lions select.
Yep, that's it, man. And so this is yet another mock that the Lions are able to take Will Anderson. And it's getting there.
Now, my question to you, right?
Yes.
And when we look at this and we take stock into Peter King, because Peter King's sort of an information, brings it in, and then he gives you out serving sizes, right? You don't hear him every week or whatever like this. Very calculated, very behind the scenes, a guy who's been around for a long time.
I'll give you the quote, as a matter of fact, that he says on this.
I would love to see
And this is Peter King, who talked to a GM, like a real NFL GM. And the GM told him, quote, Tyree Wilson is a swing for the fences. Will Anderson is a guaranteed double. So that's the thought process.
And where are you as a Detroit Lions franchise? What are you in the market for right now? Doubles. You need solid doubles. You don't need that home run. If you want your home run hitter, he's sitting on he's sitting out for 6 games. That's what you need, and the fact that hopefully it plays out. The biggest thing about that is the movement ahead of us and the fact that the quarterbacks go. My biggest thing is that everybody's on to Will Levis, that he isn't that guy. So that's another person that doesn't go ahead of us that leaves Will Anderson somebody else. I hope it plays out the way Mr. King says.
Peter King's thought process on the Lions in this. It's a tough call here, with cornerback also being a long-term need and every corner left on the board, including Illinois' Devon Witherspoon, who's the kind of uber physical hitter who would fit well with the tough guy coaching staff of Dan Campbell. But Anderson's a solid, positive pick. Another brick in the wall for Brad Holmes in his attempt to build a division championship. And more in no longer woe-begone Detroit.
Can I address this
real quick? Yep.
I'm going to ask you about it because Peaceful Tim said this, which is true. GMs lie. But not in certain spots. This is where you can look for the information, the transparency, because a GM has no reason to lie to Peter King, who's as a resource when Peter King asks him, what are your opinion about this player and this player? Not to where he's drafted, but what type of player is this? And the guy says that's a home run guy and that's a doubles guy. So in this case, the evaluation by a GM is probably spot on to his opinion. Has nothing to do with where he's going to be drafted or whatever else. That's Peter King putting it into his computer and letting it play out. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Like as far 100%. As how to read.
It's like you talking to Kevin Allen.
What's that?
It's like you talking to Kevin Allen or Kenny Holland talking to Kevin Allen or Scott. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a mutual respect there.
Absolutely.
And that's what it is. Like if you got big projects going on, there's one name that gets a lot of mutual respect.
Well, it's the sort of same thing. The Peter King, of the maintenance and the equipment world. Who am I talking about? You know it, you love it. It's Alta, because that Alta uptime matters. Alta equipment has everything that you need to get the job done. Now, look at the weather changing. A little bit wet, a little bit dry. Man, bog projects, everything. Alta Rent, they got you covered. So give Alta a call today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to WoodwardSports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to WoodwardSports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
The Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play and private lane reservation for $120. If you get thirsty, they got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you go check it out in Hamtramck or visit it online at FoalingWarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. See y'all at 5th Avenue Thursday night. The Woodward Sports NFL Draft Show is going down for real. Tickets available at the door if you want. Eventbrite.com. Also, doors open at 5. We go on air at 7:30. Spenmo will be by 7:30. 3 and 4?
At least, yeah.
3 shots, 4 beers?
Oh, yeah.
Because you I do like the way you operate. Like you sprint out of the gate.
Yep.
Then level.
Then level. Yep.
And then kind of survey the situation.
Yep.
And if the situation calls for it,
dive back in.
Boom. I like the way you operate.
That's what it's all about.
Eric Brenner, Neal, Darren, is there any situation where the Lions would trade back? Yes.
Absolutely. I think that the best part, right? When we sit here right now, not only not knowing what's going to happen ahead of us, is not knowing what Brad Holmes, he's working that phone up, down, back, forth, conversations here, there, everywhere. The fact that, obviously if Peter King's right and Will Anderson does drop to us, that's our pick. right? But if any of these quarterbacks don't go ahead, well, Levis doesn't go, there's a quarterback there. Teams behind us, the Vegases, the Atlantas and stuff like that are 2 or right behind us that quarterback needs, so to speak. So everything's on the table. Again, Stoke not scared. In homes we trust. That's where I'm at, and even more so Thursday night. Third pick's going to be gone. The fourth pick's going to be gone. No matter what it is, there's going to be. Do you expect? Yeah, I expect somebody trading up. Not necessarily us, but like you said, what's the speculation? Is the Indianapolis? Is the Tennessee's? Something's going to happen to change it around, just no matter what it was. Like I said, the question that I want Gabby to ask Brad Holmes after the draft is going into this, obviously you had a plan A. How many contingency plans did you have, and with what went on ahead of you, what played out, right? So they're either going to pick, trade up, trade back, do whatever else. But doesn't it feel like a real team? Like this, I feel like I have a real team going in and making these decisions at draft time. And we know that because Brad Holmes, this is when he cooks.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jump into there. Get your thoughts on it. I'm Salty. Says Holmes has taken a hurt player every year. He's not stopping. Now, if there's value to do it, then by all means. Like, again, Jameson Williams, who I know you all want cut, and Sam Flannel thinks is a bust. Even then, the cost of acquisition was like moving back 20 spots in the second round.
Erroneous, by the way. Just erroneous. Never said he was a bust.
No, you said he's on bust alert.
Of course he is. Get back on the field and play. Show me, and then you won't be on bus alert anymore.
Hey, you know what? I wish that he would have as much compassion and conviction with his college team as he did with his pro team. I know.
That's really weird. Keep that same energy, Sam Flannel.
Just consistency, Sam. That's all we're looking for.
That's all we're looking for. Mel_313. Neal Ruhl, you the GOAT at this ish. That's pretty funny, man. I'm just a dude that doesn't want a real job, Mel. Like that's pretty much all that it is.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Sound Kayak says we know nothing. Trust in Brad Holmes. Obviously.
That's it. But in all honesty, isn't it a nice feeling? And I mean, yeah, there is this like sort of the unknown and stuff like this, but it to me, it's sort of like that warm blanket. You know, you have your favorite blanket, and until you put it in that right spot, you can't go to sleep, no matter what. That's what Brad Holmes feels like right now.
I'm Salty also. Will Levi Onwuzurike be anything on this team? He's been at team activities, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. We'll keep an eye on it, see how it all works out.
He's been at voluntary workouts.
So here is the second half of Peter King's mock draft, which I think is intriguing. He talks to NFL GMs, talks to them. So that I give him a little more juice than I might some other. But if you missed us last segment.
And before we get into this, like, Neal, when you and I are talking about a guy like a Peter King or whatever, we use a different lens to really realize what he says, right? Like the Todd McShays and the Mel Kipers and stuff like this. I feel like the GMs use those guys to play the game, but when it comes to the Peter Kings, because he only comes out, this will be the only time he talks about it, that there are real conversations going on. Now, he pieces it together to what he sees, and I sort of like that. I sort of like that because to me, this could be reality. The reality that we could get Will Anderson at 6. And now I'm interested to see, we have 2 first-rounders. What else
Absolutely.
could it be?
So let's get to it. Peter King. Just to wrap up, if you missed last segment, Peter King had the Lions taking Will Anderson and had Tyree Wilson going number 2 to the Houston Texans. The NFL GM said that it's, quote, Tyree Wilson is a swing for the fence to where Will Anderson is a known double. So that's it. That's the reasoning. That's the logic behind it.
You want Aaron Judge? You want Miguel Cabrera? You know what I'm saying? Like sort of prime. The doubles. The hit for average.
Right. Number 7, Las Vegas. He has them taking Devon Witherspoon, which okay. Number 8, Atlanta. They have Atlanta taking Bijan Robinson. He's another one that seems to be sliding up. That's what Peter King has him of that. He says, though, this is too high of a pick to take Robinson, of course. I do know the Falcons really want to trade down, and I do know they really like Robinson. Who doesn't? Because he's the best running back in this draft and has the ability to segue into receiver mode with great hands and can play very well in the slot. Of course, they want to trade down. Taking Robinson at 8 would be leaving draft capital on the table. But if they take Robinson here or lower, imagine the investment in their offense that they've made over the past couple of years. Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Now you would have Bijan Robinson as well. It's coming together a little nicely there. And I think the Falcons were better than people thought they were going to be last year.
Yeah, they still need a quarterback, but their offensive line is getting better too.
Yeah, it is. And it is a very good offensive line to start. Chicago, Paris Johnson Jr., the tackle from Ohio State. Paris Johnson's another one that I don't think we fully quite grasp around here what the people think of him. Mm-hmm. He's highly valued. Philadelphia at number 10, Nolan Smith, the edge rusher from Georgia. He's another one that seems to be popping up. Arizona through Tennessee with that trade that they made. Christian Gonzalez, there's Spenmo's guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's your guy. Number 12, Houston. Here's one that I know I just got done, simping for Peter King. But if he gets this one right, then I'll have to give a tip of the cap. Number 12, Houston, Hendon Hooker, quarterback from Tennessee.
Before Richardson?
Before Richardson.
At 12?
At 12.
Wow.
At 12.
That's...
Who would be a sunk cost this year? Because he's not playing.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised for him to go to the first round because you want that fifth-year option, especially for the guy that's probably not going to play.
Fifth-year option, he'll be 33 by the time
he'll be the first ever draft pick in NFL history that qualifies for the fifth-year option.
He's a Chris Wenke, right?
And can cash in his 401k.
And AARP at the same time.
And AARP, yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, Brandon Weeden was, 28 when he got drafted? So, it's pretty close, but... You want to get him for the fifth-year option because you know he's more than likely not playing this year.
So that's the logic.
12 is aggressive, but I could see the first round.
Sure. Number 13, Jets, Broderick Jones, tackle from Georgia. Number 14, New England, Peter Skoronski from Northwestern.
Dropped that far.
That's what they have here. Well, Paris Johnson's going up.
Yeah.
And Skoronski's going down. Green Bay at 15. Dalton Kincaid, the tight end from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Flannery, you don't like that, do you? Because if you're taking a tight end, you're taking your guy from Notre Dame.
I like Michael Mayer better, but Dalton Kincaid's a good prospect. I mean, Tunyon's old. He's been hurt. I don't know. More weapons for Jordan Love, I suppose.
Yeah, you kind of have to at this point, right?
Yeah.
You kind of have to. Washington.
That would be such a slap in the face, though, of Aaron Rodgers if they finally draft an offensive
they start
player.
adding offensive weapons.
First round receiver.
You know that's a fact. Here, I'm putting $10 down on him the Dalton Kincaid to go 15. That's it. Just because. That's the ultimate. And you know what? The longer that Green Bay plays petty with Aaron Rodgers, the better for us.
Well, again, this goes back to it, too. I tried to tell everybody this. This Aaron Rodgers thing is not going to happen before June 1st. Because that truckload of money that the Packers will be on the hook for, if it's post-June 1st, they can chop it up into next year, too. This was never not going to happen post-June 1st. At least I'm of the opinion of that because it makes sense to me. Number 16, Washington Commanders, Brian Branch, the safety from Alabama. That seems on brand for them, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that seems.
Hand up. Who are we? The Commanders.
17, Pittsburgh, Jackson Smith and Jigba, wide receiver, Ohio State. That. After taking George Pickens?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I'm not feeling that one either.
I guess they traded Claypool, but they still got Deontay Johnson and George Pickens.
Yep.
So,
corner, however, is another position the Steelers could favor. They could take Maryland's Deonte Banks.
I can see that. Banks or Forbes.
If not. So at 18, the Detroit Lions, Deonte Banks, cornerback from Maryland. So he seems to be the flavor of the week now, the cornerback. Right? He didn't hear too much about him.
I mean,
before.
if the big three are gone, he's the next best one for sure. Is Porter still on the board?
Yes.
Ooh. That's something.
So do you guys think lean into it? And you know what? If we get Anderson at 6, I mean, I'm good with it regardless, but it sort of makes more sense where you go out and grab that, because you get Anderson at 6, man. That's your Penei Sewell. That's your Aiden Hutchinson. You got that guy in that first overall pick. The next one's a bonus. And you could even see when it comes down to that, that's where you could package 18 in a second or a third, for something else. So, I mean, I think there's going to be a ton of action throughout the league in this draft.
Yeah.
CJ Schneider says, I like Banks over Porter. There's not many of you in Big Ten country. Well, that's right, though, but we forget Maryland is Big Ten too, right? Mm-hmm. So that's win-win for you guys, right, Sam Flannel?
I mean, I would rather them take Joey Porter Jr. If a Will Anderson, Joey Porter Jr. draft would have me really, really bricked up doing backflips at Fifth Avenue, but as long as you get Will Anderson, Deonte Banks is not a bad consolation prize.
Let's talk about the sports marketing agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse issues as well. They have a new podcast out called This is the S Word. It helps address the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Again, thesportsma.com, the sports marketing agency. They're here to help.
You've heard of Gordon Ramsay. You've heard of Bobby Flay. But Thursday night Master Chef Brad Holmes will be in the kitchen with all of the ingredients needed to make a great dish on draft night. Join Woodward Sports for our 3rd annual Woodward Sports Draft Party, live at 5th Avenue in Royal Oak. The past 2 years, these parties have been standing room only, so get your tickets early at eventbrite.com. Don't miss out on all the fun with Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, and the entire Woodward Sports crew. The party starts at 7:30 p.m. Don't miss the biggest draft party in the Motor City, brought to you by the biggest network, Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I can tell everyone's getting bricked up, man. I can tell that everybody is locking in. It is NFL Draft Week again. We will be at 5th Avenue in Royal Oak Thursday night. We start a live broadcast at 7:30. Over 50,000 of you watched the draft show last year, which I couldn't even believe that. When I saw that, I couldn't even believe it. There wasn't even 50,000 people at Ford Field for like the actual Lions draft. So we appreciate you trusting us, seeking us out on draft night. We'll be back at it again. I'll be on there, I believe, with Adam Baydoun to some degree. So there is that, which is fun in and of itself. I try to tiptoe my way around being canceled. Because it's a matter of time for Adam, right? Like, it's just a matter of time.
Oh, he got it for a little bit.
Yeah. He wiggled his way off the hook.
He got a partial cancel.
Yeah, he wiggled his way off the hook. Joey Porter, a lot of questions about Joey Porter Jr. 3rd and long. Does Joey Porter Jr. fit the Lions' zone scheme, though? We did the Peter King mock draft. I'm not a huge let's do a mock draft guy, but it's Peter King. And he had some interesting stuff in there. He had the Lions getting Will Anderson. Tyree Wilson did go to 2 to the Houston Texans, and to, quote, swing for the fences as opposed to taking the double. That is Will Anderson, which is just wild to me because he would have been the number 1 pick in the draft last year, right? Even you, Flannel.
Oh, I think it's kind of silly, this idea that Will Anderson is just a double. That's absurd to me. And the Houston Texans, you got to look out for them because remember what they did last year. They took Derek Stingley Jr. They passed on Sauce Gardner, all pro in his rookie year. They passed on Kayvon Thibodeau. And this year, I think there are 2 prospects that are clearly the best when it comes to defensive players. Will Anderson and Jalen Carter, and they might take Tyree Wilson at 2. The Derek Stingley thing doesn't look like it's working out for them so far, so they better watch themselves.
I could be if the Lions do that and Brad Holmes is up there, and you want to hit me with run support was a big problem for us. And Tyree Wilson is a much better option in terms of run support. I'll nod my head and say, okay, King, I believe you. You know what I'm saying? But there's evidence to that.
There's a plan.
Right.
Whoever they choose, if they trade, whatever decision they made, it's thought out. It's not, oh, hey, guess who we're picking? This guy you never knew that ESPN doesn't have the graphics to put up on the board.
The Detroit Lions select.
That's what I'm saying. Is in homes you trust the game plan. That's why my biggest thing is, and I hope, right? You always hope when you have competent people that their game plan, their A game, right, is played out. Everything falls the way that they want. They get the guy they pick, the less stress. They go make a trade, do whatever they want. But they have the power and they dictate it. So, but it could be too, Neal, is that Brad Holmes is going, hey man, we never saw this trade coming and stuff, and this guy dropped to us. We didn't think he'd be there. We had to think on our feet, but we thought about it. You know, this is a conversation we had a month and a half ago, right? Like, aren't you confident that all these scenarios with all these players, whether we've heard moving up the board, down the board, quarterbacks trade, they've had this conversation at Allen Park, and they know exactly Thursday going into it what they want to do.
Jeb Large says, don't be like this bozo and draft Cansey at 6. There are people at this network that had Cansey at 6 in their mock drafts. I'm not going to say who they were.
Adam.
I'm not going to say who they are. Brandon Katz says Cansey's not a pass rusher. He's not a top 10 pick. That I would agree with. I would certainly agree with that. Hoof-Hearted says Trayvon Walker was a home run and Hutch was the double last draft. See how that turned out. Jacksonville did win a playoff game. Didn't give up 300 yards rushing in the first half of a game. Factual statement, everybody.
Factual.
You cannot deny it. Cannot deny it.
It's also factual that Aiden Hutchinson had more sacks than Trayvon Walker and Kayvon Thibodeau combined.
Factual?
Also factual.
That is factual statement.
Both things can be
Yep.
true.
But they also didn't give up 300 yards rushing in the first half of a must-win game.
That was so bad.
And they won a playoff game.
They did.
Just wrapping up this first round of the Peter King mock draft at 19. For those of you that missed it, he had Detroit taking Deonte Banks to add with Will Anderson. Tampa Bay takes Darnell Wright, the tackle from Tennessee. Seattle with the number 20 pick, Zay Flowers, the receiver from Boston College. The LA Chargers take Jordan Addison out of USC, so they just keep running it for your boy. At some point he'll be an above 500 quarterback, right, Flannel?
Hey, first 3 seasons, 94 touchdown passes.
Okay.
Team game.
Okay. Number 22, Baltimore takes Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback out of Mississippi State. Some of the names I haven't said yet.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson.
That's pretty wild.
Number 23, Minnesota, Anthony Richardson, quarterback from Florida.
23 overall to Minnesota.
Easily he could go earlier. I could even see a world where he goes 4 to Indianapolis. But the Vikings would be an intriguing spot for Richardson. Kirk Cousins has 1 playoff win in 5 Viking seasons. The math is not in Cousins' favor. This is year 6. He'll have made $185 million as a Viking.
Yeah,
and we'll be seeking $45 million plus to re-sign after this season, to be sure, guaranteed.
Get paid, buddy.
Who would be surprised? Who would be surprised if the Vikings want to start fresh in 2024? Number 24, Jacksonville, Lucas Van Ness, edge rusher, Iowa. Jacksonville.
We like him.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't like him?
No.
Oh, he's from Iowa.
He's from Iowa. I have a blank. Much like the way you guys talk about Ohio
like Jack
State.
Campbell better.
Hey, as much the same way you guys talk about Ohio State quarterbacks, I can feel the same way about Iowa. Isn't that fair?
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
We're all entitled to our opinion.
Number 25, the New York Giants, Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame. Give Danny Dimes some weapons.
Hey, I mean, pair him with Darren Waller. That could be pretty dangerous.
Number 26, Dallas, Joey Porter Jr., cornerback, Penn State. So they'll have Micah Parsons and Joey Porter Jr. Dallas. Buffalo, number 27, Josh Downs, wide receiver, North Carolina. Speaking of receivers, another name we haven't said, Quentin Johnston. Number 28, Luke Musgrave, tight end from Oregon State at number 28. Number 29, New Orleans, Miles Murphy, defensive end, Clemson. Philadelphia, Jamar Gibbs, running back from Iowa, makes sense. And then Kansas City, Osiris Torrance, guard from Florida. Which was somebody who I was hoping for in the second round.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah. So there is that. The Rams do not pick till number 36. The Dolphins do not pick till number 51. Oof. The Denver Broncos do not pick till 67 or 68. Cleveland does not pick till 74.
Damn.
San Francisco does not pick until 99, but they have 99, 101, and 102 to the compensatory picks that they have gotten. They will pick sooner if they trade Trey Lance as well. Chances they trade Trey Lance are about 8%. So he doesn't think that it will happen. So that's the layout. That's what we're working with.
So my question out of all those ones that obviously in there, and Anthony Richardson, right? And Minnesota, what he said makes sense and stuff like this. But if he falls out of the top where we were expecting him, somebody to take him early on, is there anybody in the between 8 and 23 to Minnesota that would be making a move up to go get him? You know what I'm saying? Like, or do you see that sort of Anthony Richardson falling to Minnesota at 23 sort of makes the most sense?
Yeah, I mean, again, and I kind of echo Peter King's sentiments. I just wonder,
like, is this a draft where there's teams maneuvering in the back to make moves? Are we going to see a bunch of different trades scenarios in this draft?
I don't think so, because I think everyone's expecting it.
Okay.
You know what? That's been the word, right?
Is that the temperature, though? The temperature.
That's how I feel.
I'm feeling trades, and then it's probably not going to happen. But the air, as we're saying, it's going to rain or it's going to snow or whatever. It feels like there's a bunch of trades in the hopper, doesn't it? Do you feel that way right now?
Could be. Stephen Baffy says I could see the Ravens moving up for Richardson. You know what? We'll go to the break. Give me your trade. What you think a trade would be? Somebody move up. Give me some logic, though. I'm not just taking one, from Sam Flannel, who says I could see the Lions trading up to take Quentin Johnston because Jameson Williams is a bust and they want to fix it. Like, I'm not taking that text from Sam Flannel.
But if you were taking a haircut,
I tell you where I would take a haircut.
Even better, you wanted to win something free, because if it's free, it's for me. It could be for you too. How'd you like to win a new vehicle for you and a friend? That's right.
Give me the other one. I can use
your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, best bud, whoever.
Spencer Raxter.
Spenmo Rax.
I can
you
use
want to
that.
get Spenmo Rax, because he's not Spenmo Rax, he's Spenmo Rex as of Friday. But hey, anyways, you want in, just get to a Lady Jane's and automatically register for your chance to win, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, haircuts for men, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will be all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Final segment of the show, draft week, bricked up. Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. You guys feel it, though? Can you feel it in the air right now? I know I can. I can feel it all the way in my plums. Like...
In your milk plums.
Yeah, in my milk plums. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it is. It is. We're getting closer. 3 more sleeps.
3 more sleeps, man. Get it in. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Hoof-hearted. if the 49ers don't win a ring, you can blame them taking Trey Lance as the reason. And that's fair. That is fair.
Look at what,
it doesn't work out more often than it does work out, everybody.
And they spun it, and look at where they're at, which leads me to the conversation between the break that I had is, do you expect anything to happen with a Trey Lance? Because we're talking about, the San Francisco trading him, or we still have the Lamar Jacksons. You mentioned the Aaron Rodgers.
Realistically, though, like for the people that want to do, what would you give for Trey Lance? I'm not giving a lot. People here are calling Jameson Williams a bust. What do they think about Trey Lance?
That's a good point.
But here's the whole thing. Have we seen enough of Trey Lance to know he's a bust?
Yeah, because we've seen enough of Jameson Williams to know he's a bust.
That's a good point.
But I thought I was talking to Neal, not Sam. That's why I was facing this way.
Jamo's not a bust yet.
No, but Trey Lance is?
I mean...
Has he played enough?
No,
I don't think so. Gosh darn it, no.
Can't really make a decision on him.
Well, I was told if you're not available, you're a bust.
That is a good point. You were told.
All I said was he has to produce first. He hasn't produced yet. That's all.
Who are we talking about, Lance or Jamo or both?
Yeah, which
Actually,
one?
both. Honestly, at this point, both.
Okay. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Kevin T says, Richardson to Minnesota will be a good fit. He could throw at the ceiling there.
That is a good point. Wow, man.
People are on it today, man.
Yeah.
Sue Yu says, Quentin Johnston sucks. He can't catch with his hands. He caught fine against Michigan.
He is kind of a body catcher, though. But
that's fair.
Get next to Amon-Ra St. Brown every day after practice and hit that jug machine, buddy.
Jake Wegener says, I don't know where, but if Lamar is moving, it would make the most sense that it happens on Thursday. Here's my take on the Lamar thing, how I think this is going to play out.
He ain't going nowhere.
He's not going anywhere. And conversely, you know also he's not going to go? To training camp. And he's not going to go to preseason.
I think you brought up a great point. Here, guys, let's just take your feelings.
Yes.
And just move it away and go business. Just strictly business.
What's the only card he has to play right now?
He's got to start that clock again on his paycheck, right? So he can play the game to the way that the game's written out. Doesn't have to show up to that first game and go out there and play. Now, what is part of the game being played? Once you get that started, is he in shape to play? Does he get hurt? Does he sit out? Is there another angle of the game? But his leverage to whatever else, he doesn't have any, does he? Who's got better leverage, Lamar or Aaron Rodgers? Lamar probably.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about that because
Rodgers could just say goodbye, and then what does that mean? He just automatically.
Well, he could, but then it's different with the Packers because it's personal with the Packers.
Right.
With the Ravens, it's business.
You think?
Yeah, it's personal with the Packers.
I think it's personal to Lamar with Baltimore, but Baltimore's business. Baltimore's end is strictly business. Lamar's got his feelings hurt.
I don't think it's feelings hurt. I think it's business for Lamar too. He's got to get that insurance of a guaranteed deal to some degree. He's got to get it.
I don't blame him.
And the only way he gets it
I don't either.
Is a franchise tag?
Well, no, because so what his goal is to get a guaranteed deal of some sort.
Right.
So his only leverage, since he's franchise tag, is to not show up for camp and don't play the preseason. Now, we know that, and Baltimore knows that, and Lamar knows that Baltimore knows that Lamar knows that. But that's the leverage, the pendulum. The pendulum of leverage.
Goonie goo goo.
Yeah, the pendulum of leverage shifts, right? Ultimately, the Ravens have the leverage
because
if he plays next year, it will be under that franchise tag, that non-exclusive franchise tag, or he just won't play. Then that's when his only leverage. Then, if he's going to die on the hill for it, then he'll say, "Then I'll sit out."
I know the question I wanted to ask you, and it's perfect that we brought this up. Where does the Jalen Hurts contract or guarantee and whatever what Philly just gave to him? How does that play into Lamar sticking to his guns?
It fuels Lamar, I would think.
Right, I would think it does too. Right.
I would give him a little more leverage, I guess, if we're doing a leverage meter.
Right.
But again, the leverage stuff is fluid because the Packers can just say, "All right, Aaron, then you're going to we'll retire you," because we're eating that cap money either way.
So, what percentage do you put Lamar Jackson in a Baltimore Ravens uniform this year?
100%.
100%.
Not even 90% or 95%.
I would say 90% Ravens uniform, 10% no uniform.
Okay, so no uniform more than another uniform.
Yeah,
that's. And that's interesting, man. That's a lot of money to be leaving on the table. And
I just couldn't believe the secret society of the NFL. Like when that news dropped and all the fucking owners were like, yeah, no, we're not doing it.
We are not interested.
I was like, what?
This
happens.
is a great way to, near the end, Chili Damon. Lamar has zero leverage because they have a Pro Bowl backup.
It's true. It's
and
true.
Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Tyler Huntley, Jared Goff, one and the same. Pro Bowl alternates.
D. Smitty says, shout out to the Michigan Panthers. First place in the USFL North.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe there's a receiver on that roster.
AJ Henning, transfer portal.
Cool. I will always remember him. He did score the first touchdown against Ohio State in the 2021 game, but last year I don't even know if he had 10 catches, honestly. Cool.
Paul Thomas says, Lamar would have leverage if he came off of his guaranteed number. Well, guys, remember, though, again, this isn't feelings. The biggest leverage that he has is I will not play for you. And consequently, Huntley.
Yeah.
You're going to win games with Huntley?
Yeah, they have.
They gonna go to the playoffs with Huntley?
Probably not.
Do they go to the playoffs regularly with Lamar?
Yes, they do.
It's up to them then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's up to them. Tomorrow, back at it. It's draft week, D-Mac.
Want to do draft nickel packages tomorrow?
Oh,
100%.
do I ever? Do I ever?
Every day.
Soap not scared.
Every
Soap
day.
not scared.
Every day
Soap
the rest
not
of the week.
scared.
Draft
Soap
nickel
not
package.
scared.
Lions
Soap
nickel
not
package.
scared.
Draft
Soap
nickel
not
packages.
scared.
Tomorrow, draft.
Bring your bricks.
Draft.
Bring your stoked.
For
And
D-Mac
no
Sam
spot
Flannel.
to be scared.
It's for D-Mac Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxner. My name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.